When I first seen him, I thought, what kind of voodoo stuff is this, you know? He walks into a round pen in 5 minutes, he's got a horse following him around like a dog. I guess if there's a horse whisperer out there, it's Buck Brannaman, I don't know, you know.
Hi, I'm Laura, I'm from Film Club. I'm here today talking to Buck Brannaman, the real-life horse whisperer, ahead of the release of his film about him called Buck. How you portray him, Buck, do you think that that's a true insight to your life and how you really act?
Well, it is. It was quite a challenge as a filmmaker to capture what I do and be in the right position with the camera, considering that nothing was set up, that nothing was staged, because I didn't want to live my life like that, considering she followed me around for 2.5 years.
How much of treating the horses is really down to treating the owners?
You know, I really work with horses that have people problems, because so much of the time the problems that horses have are a result of the person not understanding them.
This horse tells me quite a bit about you.
I never really thought of whether it was kids or horses. I never thought it made much sense to let them make a mistake and then punish them after they'd made a mistake.
So, have you ever been injured in the course of your work, or do you ever get scared about it?
I've been hurt a little bit over the years, but all in all, but I've probably sustained more injuries from playing volleyball and basketball than I ever did riding horses. But with my experience, there isn't a horse alive that I'm afraid of. But you're really only afraid of what you don't know.
When you were my age, were there any inspirational people for you that you looked up to and aspired to be like?
About the time I turned 13, I went into a foster home and was taken away from my dad, and you've seen on the film, you know, from fairly dark circumstances. And about then is when I met my foster dad, and he was really the first man I ever really wanted to be like.
They call me Buckshot and I'm 7 years old.
My dad beat us unmercifully for not putting on a perfect performance. Horses are my life, and because of some of the things I'd been through as a kid, when something is scared for their life, I understand that.
You obviously do have a very strong connection with horses. Do you think that this may be linked to some events in your childhood, or possibly the way your father treated you?
Oh, absolutely. You know, the fact that I had gone through some pretty traumatic things as a kid really and truly gave me an empathy for horses, and having been through some of those things as a kid probably put me in a place to where I felt differently about horses than kind of the old school method of working with horses.
You always hear about breaking horses. Man is stronger than this big animal. We can break them down.
Times have changed. We just don't think like that anymore.
If you would change one thing about how people treat their horses, what would it be?
Well, I suppose the one thing would be that they could be consistent. Some things within you have to change, and all of the things that maybe changes within you as a person better prepares you for just about everything else in life as well.
So you've answered all my questions. Thank you. It's been a pleasure to meet you, and I'd love to see you again in the future. Well,
you did a great job. I know you're going to be famous, so when you're a famous interviewer someday, I'm going to want you to remember me.
Thank you.